Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. And today we're going to be diving into the world of setting weekly targets. In order to make progress, in order to make the progress that you need to be able to finish that motorsport build project that just keeps collecting dust. Like, look, there's so much dust that it just has me tripping over my words. Man, and if you have build projects, if you building cars, if you building something, you know that this is part of the process. That you know that, like, man, you get like this urge to do and to tackle and to do things, and then all of a sudden life gets busy. One thing happens after another. 1 week turns into 2 weeks. 2 weeks turns into a month. 1 month turns into a quarter. Quarter turns into half a year, and you're like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? I haven't made no progress on this shit. Really? Like, and sometimes half a year even turns into a year, and a year turns into two. I know because I lived it with my Camaro, and I know friends that are in the same boat as I'm saying right now. And so my goal today with this podcast, with this episode, with this subject that we're covering here today is to help you build some weekly targets so that you can hit, so that you can start really seeing the end zone, so you can start seeing the end goal, so you can start seeing the date that you're going to be out enjoying your build, right? Because, like, who wants to just see that shit in the garage, just collecting dust, just not doing what it's intended to do, which is making you happy, right? Like, these builds are an investment. And when every time I say that, people are like, what? No way that shit's an investment. And I go, yeah, an investment into your happiness, right? And so if your build ain't on the road to where you can enjoy it, then you're truly not being able to enjoy that investment, and you're not being able to really, embrace the happiness that comes along with enjoying your motorsport build. And in my case, it would be my turbo Camaro. My Camaro SS. I have an F body, a 2002. If you're new to this podcast, there you go. If you're old, long time listener, I appreciate you, dog. And you know that I have that car, and I've talked about it on several episodes, and it's been a roller coaster ride, up and down, up and down, up and down. But now we're starting to make some good progress, right? And being that I'm making good progress, I'm taking that momentum and I'm riding the wave in order to make sure that every week we attack something, right? And so all these episodes, all this podcasts, all these lessons are pretty much golden nuggets that I take from my life that have been working, or lessons that I've learned that have not worked, and I share them on to you so that you can do things faster, so that you can do things smarter, so that you can do things at a higher level than I am, because this is all about giving back. Right? It's all about helping all of us level up and enjoy life and do more and be more, right? And so first and foremost really is that you gotta be able to prioritize your build, right? Like, and ask yourself, because maybe you're not in that phase of your life, right? Is your build a priority to you, right? Because, like I said, life gets busy. We all have family matters. We all work might get even busier at some point in time, and so we all have, seasons in life that we go through, and you got to really able to define, is your build a priority in this season of your life, right? Because if it's not, then my friend, you got to face the reality, and you got to go take care of business of what's right in front of you, right? Because this is a commodity, right? And as much as I want to say yes, and as an investment into our happiness, family comes first, getting ahead comes first, making a good living comes first, providing for your family, being a good role model, a father, a husband, a family member, right? That all comes first, right? But you got to be able to really analyze and define, is my build a priority in this season of life, right? That's truly one of the most fundamental questions that you must face, right? And if it is, let's fucking keep rolling. If it's not, then I want you to really analyze what area of your life is truly important right now, and lock in on that shit and fucking go and take it ahead, take things to the next level, and know that this season too shall pass. But you need to be able to take care of that in order for you to come back and get your bills going, right? So how badly do you want to finish your build project, right? That's truly a question that you must answer. That's truly something that you must come to terms with, right? Because the truth of the matter is that it's going to get fucking tough. It's going to get challenging. You're going to have to give up things and sacrifice time to just chill and relax, or go spend time on the weekends doing something else and really working on your build in order to get it ahead. That's really the truth. That's what it boils down to, right? How badly do you want this shit? And then what are you willing to give up in order to accomplish this goal, right? Like, I live by that, right? And I say it, and I want you to embrace it, because most people aren't willing to accept that you must give up something in order to attain this goal, right? Because it takes time, it takes a lot of effort, right? Even if you go and have another shop, someone that is going to go do the whole build for you, you're going to be willing to give up the cash flow necessary to be able to pay for that project, right? But most of us here, we work on our own things, right? I'm a big garage mechanic type of guy, right? Um, and I like to do as much as I can on my own, right? And so for me, what I'm giving up is a lot of my free time, which these days I don't have too much of it, right? And so I'm giving up, spending time with my wife. I'm giving up spending time with my family. I'm giving up, some relaxing time. I'm probably giving up some riding time, right? Because I love riding my motorcycle. But I know that this is my goal right now. And in regards to my personal life, in regards to getting my hobby ahead, right? This car's been sitting for a long time, and it's really become a priority in my life, right? Because I fucking see the end goal. I see how close we are to getting this thing running. And yeah, it has a lot of it has a lot of labor hours that need to be put in. But if you're not willing to accept the fact that you have to give up something in order to accomplish this goal, then you're going to be in step negative. And I was going to say step zero, but you're really true in negative, because you got to give up something in order to put in the time, right? It's like, it just goes hand in hand, right? And so what we do in business, right? And I'm going to take a little approach here throughout my career that I've learned, building high-rise residential projects, is how we do in business is we measure success. Like, big good saying that you should adopt is, you can't improve what you don't measure, right? And so if you're not measuring your progress, how could you know that you're having either success or failure, right? How could you learn from those mistakes, right? And so in business, we do yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and even daily targets, right? And like I said, this is how it works. This is what I've learned in the high-rise, high-rise construction, and construction management that I did, and I'm being a part of, right, for the last over a decade plus already, right? And this is how it works. And not only, I'm even going to take it a step further. Not only in high-rise, residential, construction management jobs, but in any other business, in any regular business, if you want to be successful in business, you got to be able to have quarterly, let me take that back, yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily targets that you're working towards, right? You got to be able to analyze your profits and your losses, right? Because if you're not, then you're not be able to improve. And you're not going to be able to make money. You're not going to be able to thrive, right? So just like we do in business, how can we take that same approach, right? And how can we strategize weekly for our build, right? And I take this from a complex concept of being successful in business, right? And simplifying it to a more sport approach, right? And it all comes down to setting your targets, right? It starts with preparing yourself with what you want to do this week, right? Like, ask yourself, like, for me, I like to do this on Sunday night. Sometimes I can't do it on Sunday night because I'm spending time with the wife, this and that, and I dedicate the whole time with her, or I'm out working on things, and so I make sure I wake up early on Monday, and I get it done on Monday, and I prepare for the week, right? And so you ask yourself, like, what is important for me to accomplish this week, right? And not only that, but why is this important to accomplish it this week, right? You got to be able to have a target that you're working towards, right? Strategize your entire week. Like, and then as you're looking at your week, as I take some time to really, and I do this for business, I do this for my fitness, I do this for all areas that you hear me talk about, your body being balanced business, right? I literally strategize for each area, and I see what worked last week, what didn't work last week, and how can I improve this week, and how I'm going to show up. And it's all about showing up daily, right? And making that commitment to yourself that you're gonna make progress, right? That this is gonna take it's gonna take some time. But if you're willing to show up every single day, the progress is going to get done, right? And when you zoom out, you're going to be like, yo, I fucking made some good progress this month. Or I made some gangster progress this quarter, right? And you zoom out even more. Yo, this fucking year, it didn't look like I was going to make shit happen. But because I showed up every fucking day, we got things done, right? So as you strategize your week, right, you want to make time blocks to work on your build, right? And just like how we do in business, just like how I strategize for my fitness, just how I strategize for my relationship, I set time blocks in my calendar to be able to show up and make things happen within that category, right? And so within that time block, what are you going to do for your build? And so, like, for example, for me, like, I'll be straight up with you. I just finished, man, it was a fucking task to even get it to where it was at. I just finished priming, my entire roll cage on my Camaro, right? And so to even get it to that process, it took 3 consecutive days nonstop, right? Have over 20 hours just to be able to get it to that spot, right? And I had to do a massive amount of sanding, right, and polishing because I let the fucking cage sit bare metal and I created a lot of rust and surface rust, and I had to get all that down, and then I had to clean it all up, and I had to wash it with the greaser, and I had to then rub it with acetone to make sure everything was ready. And I had to tape up the whole entire car, right? That was day two. Day one was sanding, day two was cleanup, and day three was taping up in the morning and spraying the whole entire roll cage and car in the inside with the primer, right? And that took probably almost close to 20 fucking hours to make that done, right? And so it took me creating the tasks that I was going to do within that time frame. And so this week, you know, because the car's not in my house, I have to go and I plan ahead to be able to go and work on that car when it's at my friend's house. So this week, I'm planning to go Friday afternoon, go Saturday again, and then go Sunday. And this week, the plan is to clean up all the overspray that's everywhere, get things tied up, wipe everything down, and then paint it, right? Paint it on Saturday. That is my goal. Hit it with the base coat, 2 coats of that, then wait for both of them to dry, and then hit it with the clear coat, 2 coats of that, right? And then on Sunday, I'll go back and start removing everything, all the protection, and hopefully we'll have a gangster ass finished product, right? But it takes strategizing. It takes setting those time blocks. And if I could show you my calendar right now, if my phone wasn't recorded, you see that it's already fucking in my schedule, that it's already on Friday afternoon, drive to my buddy's house. Then from this time to this time, work on this car. And then from this time, drive home. And then get back to bed because I want to get back to bed to a certain time. Take a shower, get to bed, wake up early again, get my workout in, do things that I need to do, then go and take care of the car. Come back. Like you see it, my calendar is blocked off and it's done. Because if you ain't willing to block it off in your calendar and set it into play, then you ain't really fucking focused on getting the shit done, right? And so you gotta be able to really strategize so you can focus on showing up. Even if it's, the time blocks get shortened, right? And this was an example that I used with some big time blocks, right? But maybe you have your car at your house, right? Maybe you can work on it an hour every day, right? So what time could you work on the shit every day in order to make progress you need? I have a good friend of mine, he's working on one of his cars and he can't work it on the weekends, right? Because he wants to spend family time, right? He has kids and all this. So he does it. He was telling me, he was like, man, I do my work, and we're texting back and forth with each other and making sure that we're each making progress every single week. He's like, man, I do this shit after dinner. When everyone goes to sleep, I go into the garage and I put in an hour every day, right? And so that is his time frame, right? That's what works for him. He works in better and shortened time frames because he doesn't want to take time away from his family. Remember I said, you got to be willing to give up something, right? And so for him, he's giving up at the end of the day some time that he could be decompressing and relaxing to go into the garage and get shit done, right? Like, that's just what it takes. You got to be willing to put in the work, right? And then as you create your plan and as you show up, right, following Sunday, that Sunday comes around, Sunday at night, or maybe for you it's Monday. Some weekends you could do it Sunday. And Sunday I always like the best because you could really strategize. And by the time you go to sleep, you're like, I already know how I'm going to attack this week. And by the time you wake up, you fucking start, grinding and attacking the day, right? But you reassess. How did it happen this week? What did I do? What did I didn't do? What did I say that I was going to do, but I didn't do, right? And what did I have trouble with, right? Like, these are all things that we analyze in business, right? And so take it for a motorsport approach. It simplifies this shit, right? It doesn't have to be so complicated, but you need to be willing to set up your task of what you want to do that week. And then you just rinse and repeat every week. You re-strategize, you reanalyze, and you make things happen. One step at a time, all down the line. And I know this may sound like a very simplistic approach, But that is what gets things done. Showing up and taking the action towards actually working on your build is what's going to get you out on the road enjoying this shit, my friend. Right? So my question for you today is really, what is the next thing to do on your build? Right? Like, what is it? Right? For me, I told you, I got to go clean up all the overspray and make sure that things wipe everything down and make sure that it's getting ready so that I can paint this whole car on Saturday. And Saturday's going to be a long day for me. Got to get 2 base coats and 2 clear coats, right? So I was already strategizing. When I put that in my calendar, I remember I was like, man, I calculated about like 7 hours to do all that. And I was like, fuck, I guess this is the whole day. I guess I got to wake up extra early on Saturday to make sure that I get my fucking workout in and I get my other tasks done so that by the time I head over there, I fucking got everything done, and all I'm focusing on is in the car. It's on the car, right? So for you, what is the next thing you got to do in your build, right? And then my challenge for you is really put today's framework into play for the next month, right? Just give it a shot, right? Every week, right? Track your progress in your little notes tab, and create a notes folder in your in your phone, right? Track your progress and see every week what you're going to plan to do, how do you do it, and how you're showing up towards the end of the week. And you're going to see how things start getting done because you're actually measuring the progress, right? And then there's a week that you look at and you're like, fuck, I didn't get anything done this week. Then you know that that week you got to fucking go extra hard, right? When you track, when you measure your progress, you can literally improve, my friend. So I'm going to leave you with a final quote. This one's from Nikki Lauda, right? And it goes, it's not just about speed. It's about who can outthink, out-strategize, and outlast the competition, my friend. Let's get to fucking work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open and Helping Others. Level Up is the mission that God has tasked us with. If by any chance you still haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you're connected with today's message, if you want me to hold you accountable with today's message, man, do me a favor and share this on your story. Make sure that you tag me at Wide Open Randy because those are the actions that help more gearheads to really see and hear about this podcast. And ultimately, that's how our community grows. Catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.